up, guys? Fight Fiend Mix here, coming at you with a new video. Thank you for taking the time to stop by and checking it out. Before I get started, I do want to say I hope everyone is doing all right and staying healthy, of course, following the rules. Staying indoors, not going out unless you positively have to, wearing your mask and washing your hands and all that good shit. Staying healthy, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So I do hope everyone is healthy and is going to stay healthy. Hopefully this thing ends soon. I don't think it will, but I guess wishful thinking. There's always hope, right? But anyway, I do hope everyone is doing okay. And then before I get onto the topic of the video, I do want to ask to follow me on social media. My Instagram is at FightFiendMigs. Of course, also like, subscribe, comment on my YouTube channel. Leave comments down below. Agreeing, disagreeing with me, whatever the case may be. And then lastly, as of February, I joined the FightNet radio team with Lee Honish and Andrew Lapachet. We do radio shows, I guess podcasts, sort of, on fightnetradio.com. And you can join. You can take a look at the Facebook page, and you can check us out there. We generally do two shows, Sundays and Wednesdays. The Wednesday show is primarily because there aren't any fights going on right now. It's primarily a boxing related radio show. Not really a lot of MMA or UFC, but we have been sort of kind of like briefly covering it recently because there was 3 UFC cards within the span of a week. So we kind of touched on that just because those are the only fights going on. But it's primarily a radio talk show. So if you want to check us out, by all means, fightnetradio.com. All right, so on to the topic. It was announced either yesterday or the day before yesterday that Errol Spence Jr. is coming back. He's been out because of this really, really horrible car accident that he was going 80 on some rural street or some shit, and the car flipped and he was ejected from the car, yada yada. So it was a pretty bad accident, and thank goodness he's okay, like healthy, period. But also great that he's able to make it back into the ring. And it was announced that he's going to come back to fight Danny Garcia. Now, the first thing that came to mind when I read this was, Danny Garcia, really? That's that's the reason I'm making this video, is kind of my thoughts on it, because that's kind of why I created my YouTube channel to begin with, is just so I can talk about fights. But technically, I guess we can say Danny Garcia kind of earned the title shot by beating Adrian Granados over a year ago, I want to say, for the WBC WBC welterweight silver championship. And I guess that kind of gave him the number 1 contender spot. Since then, he has fought one more time in an underwhelming performance against Ivan Radkach. So there's the last 2 fights that Danny Garcia had. I don't want to analyze this fight too much or go into too much depth, because chances are I'm going to make another video down the line, like a prediction video. So I'm going to leave that for that, basically. But this is really more so about my thoughts. When I read this fight was going to go down. Oh, by the way, it's looking like the fall, sometime in September, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they've even mentioned where it may take place, but they're looking somewhere later this year in the fall, most likely September. So when I read this fight was going to happen, if this fight was announced or was going to happen before the car accident, I would easily have said Errol Spence, 100%. He has the boxing skill to beat Danny Garcia. He has the punching power to keep him honest, to keep him at bay, and to earn the respect. Danny Garcia is not going to come in, barging in by any stretch. And I really didn't see much of a chance for Garcia. Yes, he has a puncher's chance, of course. He has that left hook where he just kind of, Bernard Hopkins buries his head in the fucking floor and throws that left. And it's landed, so I'm not going to say it hasn't landed. It has knocked people out. Amir Khan comes to mind. So it's not like it hasn't landed. But I don't feel like Garcia even really deserves a fight. But they're both under the PBC banner, so I guess it's one of the few welterweight guys that's under the PBC banner that Errol hasn't fought yet. But anyway, before the accident, I thought, had it been before the accident, I figured Errol Spence 100%. I'm a little on the fence about that now, because how is he going to come back? That's one of the things that I started thinking about right off the bat. What kind of Errol Spence are we going to see in this fight? Because keep in mind, he's not taking a tune-up fight between now and then. Up until recently, he mentioned, I think he was quoted as saying that he isn't even sparring yet because he has these posts in his teeth or in his gums for new teeth because they were knocked out for the fucking accident or due to the accident. So, what kind of shape is he in? Not just mentally, or well, not just physically, but mentally. Like, can he even take a shot anymore? How severe was that concussion with that accident? Because he was thrown from the car. The car rolled over. I'm not even sure how many times, how fast it was going, and he was intoxicated on top of that. So, I don't know what kind of condition he's gonna be in. There have been fighters that have had severe car accidents like that and have come back. The first one that comes to mind is Vinny Pacienza. I want to say, was it like the late '80s or early '90s? I don't remember specifically, but his accident was really bad and he fucked up his neck bad, but he came back. Um, it was towards my childhood, so I don't remember too much of that, but I don't remember him being that much more successful later on. I mean, I'm sure he found some success because there's that backstory, and I'm sure that backstory is going to come with Errol Spence's comeback as well. But um, I'm kind of I'm kind of on the fence on who to go with in this fight, and like I said, I really don't want to go into too much details, but I just wanted to kind of make a video, my thoughts on it, on this fight. Um, I think Errol Spence probably should have taken a tune-up fight first. He's going right back into the elite, and I don't want to discredit, but also not overcredit Danny Garcia. Um, I mean, for better or for worse, he's one of the elite guys right now, 147. He's got a great record. He has some pretty decent names on his record. A couple of hard losses that were close losses. So he's not necessarily out of the picture, but I don't want to call him one of the top three per se, maybe top five, but I mean, even still, top five. Spence is coming back into that directly. Like I said earlier, I think I might have mentioned earlier, I'm okay with a couple of gimme fights. Danny Garcia has been pretty much accused of being a cherry picker, so he takes a lot of gimme fights, a lot of easy fights. And I know they say there is no such thing as an easy opponent, but there are. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, there are. And Danny Garcia is pretty good at picking them out. And that's not to say that other fighters haven't done it. I'm not singling him out specifically, but he is the topic of this video as well. But I was pretty shocked that Errol isn't going to take a tune-up fight first. Something to kind of get back into the swing of things, because sparring is one thing, training is another thing, and then the same thing I should say, and then getting into an actual fight, 12-round fight, is another story. Excuse me. So him not taking a tune-up fight prior to this kind of scares me, because like I said, we don't know what kind of condition he's going to be in. Who the fuck knows if he can even take a shot as well as he used to, because yeah, Danny's going to hit him. Garcia's going to connect. He may not connect as often or connect as cleanly, but he's going to connect. Like, we know he's going to fucking connect on Errol. It's just a matter of whether or not Errol can take the punch. We assume he can, based on him before this car accident, but after, I'm not too sure. But it's an intriguing fight regardless, because these guys haven't fought. Anytime we have guys who haven't fought, it's like, man, we can kind of predict how rematches go by the first fight. We can get it wrong entirely, it's totally possible, but we kind of have a general idea of what it looks like seeing these two guys in the ring. When it's a new fresh fight like this, I'm all for fresh fights, so I'm down for this fight. But I don't know how Garcia is going to. I don't know how he's going to outbox. If we see the same Errol Spence as before, and the car accident didn't affect him, or at least didn't affect him as much, then Danny Garcia is going to have a tough time, which I'm sure he's fine with, because he's totally okay with fighting top notch guys. Um, I'm not sure how Garcia can win this one. I mean, now from the car accident, maybe he has a better shot, but I definitely think that Errol Spence probably should have taken a tune-up fight prior to this fight and prior to agreeing to this one. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. It's going to be later on this year, so that just gives Errol Spence more time to like really heal and have. I mean, there aren't really any fights going on or boxing fights going on, at least not yet. I believe the last I heard, Bob Arum is going to try to get some top rank cards come June, and that's a couple of weeks away. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. If it's going to be a good fight, or if you guys don't think it's going to be a good fight. If Danny Garcia deserves a shot or he doesn't, or if we're going to see the same Errol Spence or not, or should he have taken a tune-up fight? Let me know what you guys think. Those are my thoughts on the fight. Like I said, there's a pretty good chance that once the fight approaches and gets closer, I'm going to release another video with my actual prediction on there. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Kind of rambling, but I wanted to get that off my chest because it's an intriguing fight. I'm not gonna say it's not, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it. But anyway, by all means, guys, thank you for or thanks. By all means, leave comments and agree with me or disagree with me, whatever you prefer. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Fight Fiend Migs, and then of course here on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, angry letters, whatever you prefer. But anyway, thank you guys for stopping by and hearing me ramble about this fight for a little bit. I hope that was somewhat entertaining for the short video. And yeah, I hope to see you guys real soon. Peace.